Introduction to pfSense. My name is Sanuja, and today we will talk about what is pfSense and how you can install it. If you would like to get more information and follow this guide, you can also visit my website at sanuja.com, and I will leave a link below. So what is pfSense? pfSense is a free and open source firewall router combination. It's a firmware, or you could call it a type of an operating system. It can be used in home, small business, or even enterprise environment. It has advanced firewall rules and configurations such as IP blocking or domain blocking, port forwarding and port blocking, as well as advanced routing capabilities such as VLSM support, as well as VLAN segmentation. One of the biggest advantages of using pfSense over other firewalls and routers is that hardware scalability. You can install pfSense on almost any compatible hardware. In fact, I have installed pfSense on Intel Pentium 3 old computers. You can install it on a server. You can also install pfSense in a virtual environment as a virtual machine. The pfSense firmware itself does not have a graphical user interface. It's a headless server. However, it has a very user-friendly web user interface. The web graphical interface is actually more capable than many other softwares I have been using in the past. So the very first thing you need to do in order to install pfSense is to download pfSense from the website. The pfSense is currently managed by a company called Netgate. You can go to their website and download it. I will leave a link below. If you are installing on a virtual machine, or if you are installing on a computer, I would recommend you get the ISO file. And once you have the ISO file downloaded, you can start installing on this compatible hardware. If you would like to know more information about what type of hardware is compatible for the current version, again, you can go to their website, and I will leave a link below, and you can check what hardware, what is the minimum requirement for installation of pfSense. Once you have downloaded the pfSense.iso file, load the file into a bootable drive, and the program will initialize. Once the initialization has been completed, you should be presented with the pfSense installer screen. If you did not get the pfSense installer screen or end up with an error message, please look into your BIOS or check what that error message is. So this is what the pfSense installer looks like, and now we will go and see how we can install this. Just like any other operating system, firmware, or software, you will be presented with the copyright and distribution notice. You can read it, and if you agree with it, you can press enter, which is accept, which will take you to the next page. Welcome to pfSense. And you will have three options: install pfSense, rescue shell, and recovery config.xml. Today I will not discuss anything about the recovery shell and recovery config.xml. I will discuss that on a different video. For now, we will be just using install pfSense. If you are installing pfSense for the first time, that is the option you should select. And after you select install pfSense, press enter, and it will take you to the keyboard map selection. By default, pfSense is set to US keyboard map. However, you have the option to pick other keyboard configurations, such as Canadian bilingual. Whatever you want to pick, you can select it based on whatever the key configuration you have, and press enter, which is select. That will take you to the partitioning page. There are a couple of options for partitioning: the auto UFS, manual, shell, and auto ZFS. Again, I will not go in detail into what each one of these items are. For now, just select Auto UFS or Guided Disk Setup. Especially if you don't know what you're doing or you're not technically inclined to play with these options, I would always select the Auto UFS. The next screen, it will give you an option for manual configuration. Again, in this particular screen, we will select No, because we don't want to modify anything manually, we want to do it automatically. At the end, the installer will give you the option to either go into the shell or to reboot. Select Reboot and press Enter. Once the reboot has been completed, you should be presented with a similar screen like this. It will have Welcome to pfSense and the pfSense released information. In this particular example, we have pfSense 2.4.5 release P1. You will have your WAN address and you will have a LAN address. If you are connected directly to the internet, your WAN address should be your external IP address, and your LAN address would be a pfSense default 192.168.1.1. This LAN address is very important because this is also going to be your web GUI interface logging IP address. In certain situations, such as you are behind a secondary NAT or you are behind a virtual machine that supplying the IP addresses, you may have to change this IP address. In that situation, you can select the option 2, which is the set interface IP addresses, and select the LAN, which is number 2, and you can change the IP address. In this case, I have a subnet in a different subnet than the default IP address, so I selected 10.10.0.9, and it will ask for which subnet bit count. So you can go, in this particular example is 24, and once you press enter, it will change the LAN IP address. So in my example, I have installed this on a virtual machine, and virtual machine is obtaining the IP address on that subnet from a DHCP server on another virtual machine. So I assign 10.10.0.9 because all my system is under 10.10.0.1. So once you are here, what you can do actually, you can either go to a computer that connected to the same network or plug in a computer to this LAN port and enter 10.10.0.9 or whatever the IP address you selected or the default IP address, and it will get you to this pfSense web graphical user interface. I will not go any more detail into how to set it up in this particular video. Next time, I will discuss how we can set it up pfSense firewall with basic setups and how you can configure your network from the graphical web user interface. Thank you so much, and if you have any questions, more than welcome to contact me or visit my website at sanuja.com, and I will leave the link to my instructions on the description. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.